everybody, and thanks for joining me today. So now working on the lighter part of the wings today. I filled in a bunch of the darker part lower down on the design. Not completely because I couldn't reach that far, so we'll get to that next month, as this is the last session for this month, which is hard to believe. The time has flown. So a little less smoky today. We had rain for a few days, which, like I said, I wouldn't complain about because we needed it. Yeah. Unfortunately, I read the fire forecast and they said it's shaping up to be another bad one this year because this winter was very mild and not very much snow or rain. So yeah, they said unfortunately some of the fires that are active right now are actually left over from last year's fire season because it didn't get cold enough and there wasn't enough snow. So they said the embers kind of just smolder underneath the snowpack all winter, and then when things warm up they can flare up to life again. Yeah, if like there's enough snowpack, then when it melts it can put it out, but there just wasn't. So yeah, unfortunately they are back to fighting them. Yeah, I always thought once it snowed that would put it out completely, but apparently it depends on how big the fire was and how much snow we got. And yeah, they can lie dormant for a lot of the winter, but they're still there. They hibernate basically. Yeah, and then come back again the next spring. So yeah, it was funny because my friend came by with her dog. She was going for a walk, so she said, "You want to join me?" And it started raining halfway through, and I'm like, I'm fine, not made of sugar. So we did. When I got home, I actually had to blow dry my hair before I went to bed because yeah, it didn't get soaked all the way through, but got about a third of the way. Yeah, I have fairly thick hair, or at least I used to, so it takes quite a bit to drench it all the way. But yeah, actually the more frustrating was because I was wearing sunglasses which fit over my regular glasses, which means there was water droplets clinging to both sets of lenses. Yeah, I ended up having to take the sunglasses off because I couldn't see. Yeah, instead of getting prescription sunglasses, I just wear the dollar store ones. That were like $5 and they fit over top, which is really nice because yeah, then I don't really have to carry like a glasses case to swap them out. And if I lose the sunglasses, well, I'm out a few bucks, not right. Yeah, the cost of a whole new set of glasses plus the extra for the tinting because they're not cheap. I mean, I know they do 2 for 1, but yeah, I just found it was a pain to actually swap glasses entirely rather than I can just move the sunglasses to the top of my head and then pull them back down over top of my glasses when I need them instead of having to change them out entirely. Yeah, my husband, he went with the 2 pairs and then sometimes he has to go back to his truck because he forgot to change them. And yeah, and I said it can kind of suck because he'll leave them in his vehicle because he uses them mostly when he's driving. But I'm like, sometimes if we're at some kind of event, it can be really sunny outside and he'll forget, change them over, and then yeah, he's squinting and blinded. So yeah, I like having my ones that fit over, and they're a lot more stylish than they used to be. I remember my grandparents had the ones that fit over your glasses and they were, yeah, very clunky and not very nice looking. These ones just look like the great big ones that became fashionable a while back. Yeah. Plus, my regular glasses, I don't get the lenses very big. So it's kind of nice because the ones that fit over top are much bigger, so they block out more sun. Okay. Yeah, it's a little overcast. But yeah, like I said, it's we're lucky we're not in the fire zone. We only have to deal with the smoke, so I won't complain. Yeah, there's people who've already had to be evacuated, which was like odd. We're like, really? In May? Usually it isn't till full summer, like July, that they usually have it that bad that they have to evacuate people. But yeah, it's been very dry. I said like the last 3 years have been very dry and not as cold. And so, yeah, unfortunately, while that might be kind of nicer for our heating bills and stuff, it's, yeah, it makes for bad fire conditions, unfortunately. Yeah, my friend was saying her son is actually going to be up in that area working with the helicopters, fueling them and that kind of stuff. And he said like, oh yeah, it'd be nice because if they're not busy, you know, we get to sit around and play cards and get paid. She's like, yeah, the way things are shaping up, you are going to be busy. Yeah, you're going to be earning that money that they're paying you. Yeah. Because they're going to need choppers for water bombing and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Start a new strand here. Let's see how much. Yeah, there's a fair bit in this area, so I'm going to take this one out. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, or there was difficulty last year. Some of the routes my husband was supposed to take to get to places, to like transmitter sites and things, he couldn't because the highways were blocked. And in some of these places they're fairly remote and there's like only one highway. And yeah, so if that's blocked by fire, you're done. You can't get in there. Yeah. Or he had one, he was coming home and he said semi-truck collided with a train and the truck was carrying fuel and it caught fire and it like was blocking the entire highway, and that was the only highway. And fortunately everybody was fine. It was nothing but property damage. It was a very slow impact, and all the humans got out safely, so they just had to, and there wasn't anything they could do because it was carrying oil. You just have to wait for that to burn itself out, just contain it from spreading. And yeah, so yeah, he said he ended up having to turn around and drive 3 hours back until he could get to a junction to take a different highway that wasn't blocked. So yeah, that really sucked. But like I said, thankfully nobody was hurt. Could have been a lot worse. Yeah, so the way I'm stitching here, there's going to be a little bit of closing in. Like I say, I try to connect on at least one side, but don't close in on all 4. So. Okay, so I have 2 threads of this yellow here, so I'm going to check. Yeah, that's a short one, and that's a long one. Perfect, exactly as I would have hoped. They were situated. If I could have planned it, that's exactly what I would have planned. Yeah, so Kiddo was almost ready to drive his vehicle, which is a stick. Yeah, if his dad hadn't to go out of town for a week so he couldn't practice. Yeah, like my husband's saying, he's got it, he just gets nervous when there's more vehicles. He said so he wants him to practice for at least another week just to be sure. But he says honestly, he can do it, he's just got to believe in himself more. So Yeah, my friend said same thing. Her kids know how to drive stick, and that, yeah, like by the last couple times she was telling her daughter, like, you really don't need me here. I'm just here for emotional support, but you can do this. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure if when her son bought that vehicle, I think it was her son bought it. Maybe it was her older daughter. But anyway, when one of her older kids bought that vehicle, I don't think they knew how to drive manual yet, but it was a good deal, and so they got it and just learned. So kind of the, go into the deep end of the pool and learn how to swim, right? Oh. Yeah, and then I think it's been passed to different kids over time. Like I said, I do want to learn just so I could move the vehicle if I had to, if it's blocking mine in. Because, yeah, it was bad one time. My husband needed to go to the hospital for some x-rays, and he couldn't drive the truck because he was injured. And I didn't know how to do stick, so we had to go ask a neighbor, can you drive manual? Would you be able to move the truck out onto the street for us? Yeah, and it's kind of a touchy one too, so it took her a bit, but she did manage to do it. But yeah, it was the one my husband was originally trying to teach me how to drive on, and he sold it to his dad, and his dad stalled it backing out of the driveway. And I said, your dad stalled it? And he said, oh, well, it's a really touchy one. I'm like, that was what you were trying to teach me on? Like, gee. And I thought I was just that terrible, right? Because I'm like, your dad's been driving standard for like 40 years, right? If even he stalls it, what kind of a chance did I have? He's like, well, I figured if you could learn on that one, then you could drive anything. I'm like, yeah, but I still wish I'd known that it was that touchy. I wouldn't have felt so frustrated, right? Oh. So yeah, he had me in a parking lot for like half an hour and I stalled it like 12 times. At least I didn't burn the clutch, I suppose. That could have been worse, right? Yeah, the lady who was with us when we test drove it from the dealership, she said, yeah, they keep telling her she's got to learn too because she couldn't move it, right? Yeah. And she said, I felt so bad though because she said a friend was trying to teach me and she's like, and he had to have his clutch replaced like soon afterwards, so I'm convinced that it was my fault, right? That I burned it out. Because, yeah, there was one video I saw on AFV when gal was trying to learn and there was actual smoke coming up because, yeah, she burned it hardcore. At least the guy wasn't mad. He was just laughing and filming it. She's just sitting there like, yeah, I'm embarrassed. I don't think it won the first place. I think it got the second or third or something on it. Yeah. Yeah, we submitted one of our kiddo attempting to do the floss dance and failing miserably. And he had an actual piece of string he was pretending. Yes, so he's like, I like that his floss dancing includes like actual floss. That's funny because he can't do it and I can. I'm like, isn't that supposed to be the other way around? This is the dance all the kids are doing, right? Ah, well, could never master the moonwalk. Yeah, it was funny because there was a video. They had these guys and they said dancing through the decades, and it showed, the swing dance, the Lindy Hop and such. And then they didn't do the moonwalk for the 80s. I'm like, well, come on, that was the dance of the 80s, right? Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, hard to believe it's June. Kiddo's gonna have his final exam soon. Yeah, we finish end of June. I'm seeing my friends' kids' grad pictures, the ones who live in the States, because they're earlier than us. Yeah. Our summer holidays are July, August. And for some places, it's June, July. So. Yeah, our school year usually starts up after Labor Day. It was funny because I had someone who they shared that, oh, Labor Day, about your moms were in labor. It's like, no, that's not what the Labor Day means. Labor Day is, it was about workers' rights. Yeah. Yeah, although we had one year Labor Day came quite late, so actually the kids started like on the Friday, and then they had like the Monday off, and then, yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah, on the mock-up, these part of the wings look more white, but when you actually stitch them, there's a lot more color variation, very light yellows and pinks and some light blues. So yeah, I will not be getting to the second bird this month. Next month for sure. Because yeah, her head, the crest of her head shows up right at the bottom of the pale part of the wings, and we get a bit of her head too, not just the crest as well. So we'll be getting to that sometime next month. And then maybe even to some tail feathers. We will see. I think we will, but I don't promise anything. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling better. I was feeling not so good for a bit there. Didn't get as much work done on my firefly piece as I wanted to because of that. So I pretty much got my usual amount done on this main piece, which is about 8,000 stitches total. Because yeah, I looked it up again and I started at about 117,000 and now I'm at 125,000. So yeah. Which I did the math to double check, means I have about 20 more months left if I can keep that same pace. I was saying 2 years, so pretty close. 20 months, 24 months, so yeah. So I say by summer of 2026, this will be most likely done. That'll have been about 3.5 years, I think. I'll have to double check my dates, but. And then up next will be Deer Creek, which is smaller. It's 200,000 total, exactly. And so that one, yeah, won't take quite as long. Probably less than 2 years. Yeah, well, if I manage 8,000 a month, then yeah, that's less than 2 years. So, or let me see if I'm doing the math right, because I'm trying to do it in my head, and my mental math sucks. Oh no, actually, that would be a little over then. Yeah. Yeah, be be like 2.5 years. So we'll see. I think I was doing the calculations as to if I was stitching only that and not other projects along the side, then yeah, I think it would be 2 years. But I do about 75% of my stitching time is on this piece, and about 20% is on Firefly, and then about 5% is on the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Oh man, there was a kerfuffle lately. Somebody was saying that they had factory reset their device, you know, wiped all their personal data and factory reset it before selling it. And then when there was a new iOS update, a bunch of people's photos came back to their old devices. So yeah, not so good for some people, personal data. And they said, but I factory reset it. And I said, well, the thing is, a lot of these devices, they mark things as deleted, but the data is still technically there. Yeah, because, yeah, I said, like, my husband was in the military and they had to dispose of computers. They had a program that would overwrite the hard drive 7 times, and then they had to take it out and physically destroy the hard drive by either smashing it or drilling holes into it or whatever, because, yeah. Somebody said, so why is it when I accidentally delete a file, I can never get it back? But, you know, you want to destroy a file, it's like there for freaking ever, right? It's like, yeah, always the way. But, I mean, I said too, generally, like the average Joe is not going to be able to recover files you've deleted. You do need to have some savvy and often some good equipment to run recovery stuff to recover what's been deleted, but yeah, you never know. Oh dear. I hate when that happens. An end comes up in the middle of a pin stitch. Yeah, it can be really fiddly to get it to go back. Because a pin stitch goes through the center of the square, you don't want to use the snag tool often either. It's different when you're pulling it through a pre-made hole in the fabric versus one you made yourself. Yeah, well, my friend who came by with her dog, she was saying she has to walk him extra because she's been working on her backyard. Yeah, tearing up a lot of grass and stuff and putting in new soil and flowers and all this stuff. And so, yeah, she can't let him play in the backyard, doesn't want him, you know, mucking it up and bringing mud into the house, plus digging it, because what dog could resist, right? Doesn't want him digging up the flowers till they've had a chance to take root and stuff. So yeah, so now I'm giving him 2 walks a day to get his zoomies out. It was funny too, she said, because we were out in the rain, she said, yeah, when she gets home, her daughter's dog will groom him. She licks him because she licks the rain off his off of his fur. So funny. Yeah. Yeah, her daughter's dog has these very blue eyes. She's a darker colored dog. But yeah, she's got like the husky blue eyes. Okay, it's another color I'm going to bring out for a while. Not a ton of it, but I don't have very many colors in my working tray at the moment anyway. So I packed away a bunch of the dark browns and reds there, because at least for the moment I'm done stitching those for a while. Ooh, ooh, pardon me. Ugh. Oops. Yeah, that sounded funny. Sometimes you can hear when it forms a knot because it makes a weird kind of snagging sound instead of going smoothly through the fabric. Then you know to double check because something might be wrong. That, or sometimes when you go to pull the thread through, it suddenly feels a lot shorter than it should be. And then you know something isn't right. Yeah, so once again, not working diagonally, following the colors. So I'm going to stitch this section here before filling in some more below, although I may not get to that until next month. We'll see. Finishing up this session, and then I'm going to do some work on Firefly for a couple of days. It'll be time to take this off the frame and show you all this month's progress. So yeah, I was up to pretty much the peacock's chest again when I started this month. And also there was, I think, one of the flowers, part of the big flower to do, and then into the peacock's chest. So I'm quite happy with that. We got basically halfway across him again. Yeah, all the way up to and part of this pale part of the wings. So yeah, I should say that next month we will get to the tail feathers. We probably won't finish the ones that are in this pass next month, but we will do some work on them. My favorite part. Yeah, I was so excited last pass when I finally got to the tail. Yeah, I said about 4 months per pass, and there are 5 passes after this one. So again, that's around 20 months. Oh, I have a bit of this left, so yeah, I feel safe saying 2 years, barring some majorly unforeseen circumstances. Yeah, that was a stitch or a thread I had to drop to untangle for a bit there. It was getting twisty. Actually, I'm going to do this color first because this is a really short piece, so yeah, I think we'll be using it up here. Yeah, I don't like to leave the really short pieces threaded because the needle generally just falls off. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to check this one here. Okay, that's a pretty long one as well. Overshot a little bit there. There we go. That's better. Oh, and then undershot. Overcompensated. Yeah, I said I might reach 41% this month, but looks like that won't quite happen. Pretty close, though. Yeah, 40.90. I'm probably just going to follow the shape of this fluorescent yellowy green color here for a bit. Because yeah, the whole thing's sloping sort of that way, and I'd have to keep adding more and more threads. So I'm gonna just not do that for now. I'll add those later as I sort of grow around this area. Like I often say, I gotta cut it off somewhere, so. Yeah, so the next time I work on this will be, I'll have shifted the frame over. I don't know if I'm going to work from the top or from the bottom again. We'll see what I decide when I get there. Sometimes I work partway down from the top and then work partway up from the bottom and it meets in the middle. Go the other way so that I can park there. See, that's my one rule, is I always park in the same spot, which is the upper right corner. See how long this is. Okay, somewhat. All right, that helps me decide what I'm going to do with the next thread that I join. Okay. In fact, what I think I'm going to do is use up a short one here. I'll attach another longer one later. Again, I won't leave that one threaded because it is just too short to bother right now. I know it will not stay. Oops. Yeah, I need close to another 400 stitches for it to go to 41%, so I don't think that's going to happen. Pardon me. Okay. Okay. Oh, no, that's not the right color. That's one marked below. Yeah, I have to add another here. Okay. Oops, pulled a little too hard. Oops. Pulling that bit of green up here. There we go. Okay, let's take a look. So yeah, start working from the bottom up, I think, for a bit. Although I'm pretty much ready to take a break soon. Done almost 200 stitches, so that's generally a pretty good run there. Okay. Okay, I think I'll just do these, and then that will be where I will call it a day. 37.52. That'll be just over 200 then. Goodness. Finishing things off with a tangle. Not so good. Oh, darn it. Oh, okay. Must have been a wrong number. All right, so that is where I'm going to leave things, just over 200 stitches. So thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to see you here next time. Thanks, everyone.